This video is designed to demonstrate the use of the microscope for measurements. In this case, we will be using a penny. Particular, we are looking at the T in cent. But before that, we're going to use this calibration slide. It is a 1 millimeter slide with 0.01 millimeter increments. So to start off with, we remove the cover on the microscope, put it somewhere safe for later. Alright, and this is the setup for our microscope. We have an Olympus SZ61 microscope with a 4.5x zoom lens, a 1x eyepiece set, included with an adjustable setting for the distance between your eyes, and a Q-Color Olympus MP5 5 megapixels camera. This will connect directly to as you can see, directly to the computer, and also we have our stand. This is our moving stand, or motion stand. In addition, we have a fiber optic gooseneck power source. This will provide the light source that we need for the microscope because it requires a light source. Alright, to start things off with, you get something for the background to kind of contrast the background, and especially in particular the calibration slide, because black on the tick marks are black, and you won't be able to see them obviously with a black background. So in this case we have white, and then what we do is we take our gooseneck, we pop the covers off of them, and we turn this knob this way, adjust it like that to adjust the light. And from there, we move the light according to our needs. Try to get it right on where we're going to have the sample. Now, to start off with, we're going to have the microscope at the lowest magnification setting. This goes from 0.67x to all the way to 4.5x. Right now, we're starting at the lowest setting at 0.67. Then we put our slide or whatever in place. It doesn't have to be precise, but again, you adjust it. Big thing is you adjust it here, kind of. And then from there, use the knob on the motion stand to adjust your focus. And you try to get it to where, also you want to, if you need be, you need to adjust your light, because in this case the calibration slide is kind of difficult to look at, or difficult to see. So you need every bit of zoom magnification that you can get. Alright, and that's, once you get it focused in, then what you do is you change the zoom according to your needs. In this case, we're going to go all the way to 4.5. And then adjust accordingly on the same thing. If you need to do it piece by piece, zoom in piece by piece. Do that just to make sure that you don't lose track of where you're looking at. Now with the calibration slide, you want to zoom in, you want to focus in to where the grid line that is basically the small ruler that is on there is visible. Really in both eyepieces, but particularly this eyepiece. Once that's focused in, you pull this tab back, and this feeds the view directly to the camera. And from there, it will connect. And there, you can open up the computer, open up the software, and do your measurements there. All right. Okay, now that the microscope is set up, we are in the computer. We log on, and then we go to the Q-Capture Pro software and open that up. And once it opens up, once it loads up, this little kind of window called Q imaging, this is for the camera. This sets up the camera, and what we'll do is we'll go to preview, and it opens up a live feed of what's being viewed by the camera. And if you need to refocus your lens, you can refocus your lens. You'll have to do it manually. Unfortunately, you have to if you need to use two people, then go ahead and do it, because it's kind of a two-man job. Then what you do, once you feel good about your view of it, you press snap, and it will create an image of the live feed. And here it is. It actually looks pretty good. And so once you feel good about how it looks, you can press stop on the Q imaging. That stops the live feed, but it leaves this image out. So, and then from there, if you need to zoom in, use the scroll on the mouse wheel. Well, first you got to select the Q imaging, and then scroll on the mouse wheel to get to where you want it to, and then use the bars on the side, side and bottom of the window to adjust your area of focus. And if need be, you can also use the mouse to kind of open it up a bit, kind of widen it to give you a much better view. Okay, so now that we're ready to go, we can do our measurements. We start out by clicking Measure, Calibration, and then go to Select Spatial. And they'll open up this small screen. This gives us the magnification. This is the standard right now, kind of the base magnification on it. This is not right. The first number is of the magnification of the eyepiece. The second is of the magnification of the zoom lens. And overall, our zoom lens is at 4.5. Now you can, depending on what setting you have it on the adjustable wheel, you can, if you want to go to 3.3x zoom or 2x zoom. In this case, we used the 4.5x zoom all the way. So we'll click to 1 by 4.5, and then click OK. And now you should be ready to go to officially measure. And then you click Measure again, go to Measure Distances, and this little bar will appear to say that you're ready to measure. And you also, on the wheel, or on the image, you have a little crosshair. What you do is, whatever you're going to measure, in this case we're going to measure from the tip of the one side of the bar to the tip of the other side of the bar. You hold down the mouse, you click and hold down the click until you get to about where you need it to be, and then you release, and hopefully it should get good measurements. This one actually overshot a bit, but yeah, if you need to go back and remeasure, or you can just do another one, like right here on the bottom. Hold on, let me get it right. There we go. See, that's about the same. And if you need to, you can make, in this case, we're going to also check here, a much smaller measurement. Yeah, okay, that looks good. That looks good. And then to kind of put the final touches on it, I'm going to measure the bar that's supposed to be 5 or 0.5 millimeters. Again, one thing to make sure of is make sure that you don't have as much angle on it. Okay, that looks good. Make sure there's not as much angle on it. If the specimen's a bit angled, you might want to take that into account. In this case, I have the advantage of having it's from tip to tip, and so that should be good to go. Okay, and from the looks of it, the measurements look good. This was supposed to be 1 millimeter long in length and with 0.01 millimeter increments. And so with this is officially calibrated and it's really looks good to go. And now we're ready to do our penny measurement. Okay, now that we've used the calibration slide, we've checked the measurements, they look good. Now it's time to get to our penny. And so again, we're going to look at the T in cent. Now, first things first, turn on the light. It's really the same process as before, except with the penny. And you start at the lowest setting. You put it right where you need to be, and then once you focus in this case, it's actually pretty well focused. Also, if you need to adjust the light, adjust the light. And in this case, we can add a bit more light because of the contrast in this case. So now you go back to zoom in again. Double and triple check to make sure that this time you do your adjustments on where it is to what you're measuring. Try to focus in on the T. You use this knob to adjust the stand so that you can focus. And right there, it is perfect. Again, once again, make sure that this is pulled out. If not, then pull it out again if you reset it. But either way, it's good to go. And now we can do our measurement. This is on, the magnification is perfect. Now we can go back to our computer. Okay, with the penny all ready to go, we're back in the computer. It's pretty much the same process. You can actually keep the window open for capture. So you go to preview, and again, same deal. We get a live feed. If you need to adjust. If you need to just adjust the focus. It looks okay in this case, and just make sure you don't move as much so you can see a bit of wobble. Okay, what you do, again, same thing, snap. Give it a few seconds, it should load up an image. Okay, and there we go. You can see the image, the T is right here. It's, like I said earlier, it's actually inverted. The video, in this case, it's not, it depends on how you have the Q Color 5 camera set up. In this case, it's inverted. So, if you need to adjust your view, just keep that in mind. Of course, you can always just look into the main eyepiece, and you should be good to go. So again, stop on the preview, zoom in if need be. Actually, going to zoom in a bit less. There we go. And again, same process to measure, calibration, select spatial, and it's important to always check and double check because like you see here, it changes. So 1 by 4.5, click OK, and measure distances. Actually, gonna get another feature you can for measuring is you can change the color. You can change whatever the color of the line. And you can also, with this, you can select which one you want. But for now, let's go back to the measuring. Try to get it as close as you can. I'm actually measuring the penny kind of by where the raised portion of the T begins. And the same thing with here. You kind of have to look closely depending on what the shadows look like. And then you get your measurement right there. And then if you need, in this case, I'm going to actually do 2 or 3. Give me a second. I'm going to do it on the other side. And once you get a good feel for it, you should be able to do this relatively quickly. and there you go. You have two measurements. Now you can't see it in this case, but once you save the measurements, you should be able to. The image will darken, and you should be able to see it. Okay, what you do now, you can close that out. And what you do is there are two ways to save it. So you can save the raw image file. You just go to save, and then in this case, I'm actually going to retitle this. And then save it wherever. In this case, I'm saving it in my lab partner and I's folder. The image type is TIFF. It's basically it's a very large image file. So whenever you open it, it might take a while to open, and sometimes even to save it. So be prepared for that. Okay, click save. But to save it with the measurements, what you do is you go up to here and click snap. And it will save, as you can see, an image of the snap of the image with the measurements. And then if you want to save that, same process. Go to save, whatever you're going to save it as. Make sure you have the right folder, whatever you want. Save. And if you want, and it should be good to go. Now, if you want to, you can open them up. Hold on, if you give me a second, I'm gonna close out the images. I'm gonna minimize here, and then what I'm gonna do is you can go to the file and select whichever one you want. And if you want to review it, you can zoom in and recheck your measurements. Apart from that, that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I hope you should be able to understand. Hopefully you're able to understand and follow it. Have a good day.